Copyright is a right given by law to authors or creators of literary, dramatic and artistic works, including computer programs, and to producers of films and sound recordings. Under this law, the author or creator has the right to control usage and distribution of the work. Copyright owners or authors can prevent others from reproducing or communicating their work without the owner's or author's explicit permission. A software license is a legal instrument which governs the use or redistribution of software. Purchasing software does not give you ownership right over the software. When you buy a license, you only get permission to use the software as per the software license's terms and conditions. The license agreement may stipulate a fixed period of use, or permission to use the software on a fixed number of devices for a limited period, or as long as the software license remains valid. Based on the number of users using an application, software licenses are classified into three categories: single-user license, multi-user license, and site license. Click each type of license to learn more about it. A single-user license allows the purchased software to be used by only one user at a time. For example, a student who wishes to create project reports using a personal computer might purchase a single-user license of the Microsoft Word application. Today, many user licenses allow download of a software package to more than one device. This permission is generally based on the assumption that the software will be used by the same purchaser, but on multiple personal devices. A multi-user license allows a specified number of users to use the software simultaneously. An example of this is where a teacher requires the class to have access to a particular program as part of their class work. The teacher might buy access to a 5, 10 or 30 user license according to the class's requirements. The site license allows everyone present at a site or in an organization to use the software. For example, an accountancy firm may have offices in 3 major cities, with 30 staff members at each office. The company would ideally purchase a site license, which would allow the installation of the accountancy software on all staff members' computers. An end-user license agreement, or EULA, is a legal contract between the manufacturer or author of an application or software and its end user or purchaser. The EULA clearly defines how the software can or cannot be used. Freeware is software that can be downloaded and distributed for free. There are no trial periods or demo versions of the software. Note that copyright laws are applicable to freeware as well. Examples of freeware are Skype and GIMP. Shareware is software that can be used free of cost for a limited period of time. After the trial period expires, the user needs to pay for the product in order to continue using it. WinZip and Adobe Photoshop are two examples of shareware. Open source is software with source code that is available for free. Being open source, the code for the program can be modified, improved, and distributed by anyone. There can be different open source copyright laws enforced by different software vendors. Mozilla Firefox and LibreOffice are two examples of open source software. Practical exercises. Select your answer and then click Submit. Correct answer. Correct answer. Correct answer. Correct answer. Personal data stored on computers should be protected from theft and should not be released without authorization. The Data Protection Act provides a legislative framework for the protection of personal data. It sets out responsibilities for data controllers when processing personal data, as well as a number of rights for individual users. A data controller is a person or organization who determines the purposes and the manner in which any personal data should be used and processed. A data controller has a number of responsibilities. A data controller must respond to access requests by individuals. In addition, a data controller must ensure security of personal data and must not retain data for longer than the required period. Laws for the protection of privacy have been adopted worldwide. Their objectives vary from country to country, but regardless of the objective, data protection laws tend to converge around the principle that individuals should have control over their personal information. Although the expression of data protection requirements varies across jurisdictions, every law dictates that personal information must be obtained fairly and lawfully, and must be used only for the original specified purpose. It must also be accurate and up to date, accessible to the subject, kept secure, and destroyed after its purpose is completed. It is important for you to understand the data protection laws of your country and the countries with which your organization is doing business. Practical exercises. Complete the sentence by filling in the blank and then click Submit. Wrong answer. Select your answer and then click Submit. Wrong answer. Select your answer and then click Submit. Correct answer. End of the chapter. Well done. You have completed the lesson Legal Aspect of ICT. In this lesson, you learnt about copyright, software licensing, and types of software licensing agreements. You also learnt about terms like shareware, freeware, and open source. Finally, you also learnt about Data Protection Act and Data Controller and the data protection laws.